Good day, everyone. My name is Ope Ademulu, and I'm here with Basha Mai to present a strategy document for American Express. So we are of Team 18, which consists myself, Basha Mai, Richard Ehize, and Fang Li, and we are handling consulting for the new credit card for American Express. So this presentation is to show the steps and the strategy which we have decided to use in order to launch the new credit card. So right away, we'll jump into the problem formulation. American Express, in terms of market share, is the third largest credit card company. And in 2019, American Express actually did a purchase volume of $821 billion, which was closely following behind MasterCard. And Visa card is, the king of the market. They did about $2.19 trillion in purchase volume in 2019. So this document or this strategy presentation actually aims to recommend possible target markets for American Express. In this research, we'll be looking at a segment which has potential in terms of revenue, volume, and margins. The target segment will require frequent use of this credit card with custom tailored perks and benefits. Next, we move to connecting relevant data. So for this analysis, the primary data was sourced from the Google Form questionnaire. So our team designed a questionnaire using Google Forms, and we shared it primarily with our teammates in Hult Business School. Beyond Hult, we also reached out to teammates in our satellite campus in Dubai, and also to a few other students, some in London Business School, and some who are even in Boston, and even high school students. So the summary of the analysis or the data gotten from the questionnaire, is shown here. So one of the questions is, do you own an American Express card? And of all the 35 respondents, we got 84.8% saying no, they don't own American Express cards. While for all the respondents, we have a third of them owning two cards, while a quarter own three cards. Moving on, we have the target market segment. And for this target market, which are primarily students, the monthly income level, which is, we need this monthly income level to understand how much credits we'll be able to afford each student when this product, goes out. So we have majority of the respondents that have over $2,000 monthly income. And this monthly income is mostly spent on accommodation and food and groceries. We had a number of categories, including entertainment, communication, exercise and fitness, transportation, utilities. But what really takes most of the income of this respondent is accommodation and food and groceries. Also, in terms of the most important feature which each respondent likes in a credit card, we see that we have a third of the respondents saying that they would rather prefer rewards and perks, some bonuses or some rewards added to their credit card. Moving on, we also ran a pivot analysis and a regression analysis for this client. So for American Express, we saw that a number of the respondents actually gravitate towards spending more on food and accommodation. So we decided to run a pivot analysis, running it in segments by separating by gender. So for females, we see that females strictly stuck to accommodation and food categories. And we can see here that from ages 24 to 27, more of these respondents actually spend more on food and groceries or other than accommodation. Whereas for 30 and above, a lot of the respondents actually spend more on accommodation rather than food and groceries, meaning possibly some of these respondents in this age range either live with parents or they prefer to flat share, which is cheaper for accommodation. And also for males, we see that the males have diverse spending. They have accommodation, clothing, entertainment, food, and groceries. And we see that for ages 30 and above also, we can see a trend that accommodation is the highest in terms of expense. Moving on, we ran the regression analysis by comparing the credit card ownership versus expense category, ranking it from 1 to 5 for each of these categories. And we can see a negative slope from this graph on the trend line. And we can also see the intercept with a coefficient of 2.351. So I'll hand over to my colleague right now to handle the rest part of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ope. Okay, let's take it from the analysis to recommendations. So the first fact I want to focus on is that more than 80% of the students have no American Express card. 76 of those are actually said that they are interested in a Studential American Express card. That's what brings students to be a very high potential future customers for American Express. Let's move for the recommendations. So we found out first that rewards and perks is the most important feature for students. Secondly, we found that accommodation is the main expense for students these days. Therefore, we recommend to launch a credit card with a full housing perks package. For example, electricity, groceries discounts, these kind of things. Let's move for the ROI. We are sure that raising the student market share will increase the ROI over 4 years. We actually suggested to measure the ROI over 4 years because it would show highest results after the students will graduate, where the income will be higher, the expenses will be higher. That's why. In order to keep students as an American Express clients also when they graduate, we suggest American Express to give them a special offer for graduates only, with a special rate offer, and to foster the relationship with the clients before they graduate. This may be a continuous card or program. Let's move for the conclusion. So in this research, our team sought for the best audience to target in terms of income, future income, expenses, future expenses, and put a big emphasis on future potential and loyalty for this segment. Students is quite big market share and are very relevant for American Express, as American Express have no any other solution for young people yet. After we research and students' habits and needs, we found out and recommend American Express to launch a student's credit card with full housing perks package and a continuous program or card for graduates. We're convinced that if American Express will adapt our recommendations, it will be able to improve the ROI, to increase the market share, and to increase the client's loyalty. Thank you for listening. We were Team 18. Have a nice day.